Hello, my lovely mutants. I have just posted a new episode of the Mutation Station on Spotify about hypermobility and Marfan syndrome, two genetic traits that may seem like superpowers, like Elastigirl from The Incredibles, but they do come with some serious challenges. I've actually put a trigger warning on this episode, and I'll tell you why a little later. Ever heard of being double jointed? That's hypermobility. And while it might seem like a fun party trick for some, for others, especially those with conditions like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that and I'm so sorry, or Marfan syndrome, it can actually lead to real health problems. People with Marfan syndrome are often tall and lanky with long limbs, fingers and toes. It's not just about their looks though, there are serious heart risks involved like aortic aneurysms. That game character Slender Man, he would have had Marfan syndrome. Famous figures like Abraham Lincoln, there's speculation that Julius Caesar might have had Marfan syndrome. It's wild how these traits pop up in myths and art and even pop culture. Artists like El Greco and performers in ancient circuses may have had Marfan syndrome because of their contortion abilities. It's also been referenced in the musical Rent by Jonathan Larson, who sadly passed away due to complications from Marfan syndrome. Now, the reason I put a trigger warning on this episode is because my auntie, who passed away in 1949 at just 6 years of age, so I never knew her as I was born some 25 years later, she was double jointed and she could contort herself into all sorts of shapes. Anyway, she was unfortunately murdered by her father. She was only 6 because of her contortion ability. It's a really tragic story. So if you want to hear more about this sad story, I go into full detail on the podcast, but it's at the end. So you can still listen to most of the podcast. And then I do let you know when that part comes up. And I posted it to honour her little life because my son inherited her hypermobility. So remember, being different is powerful. Listen to the full episode, stay curious, stay unique, and embrace what makes you perfectly imperfect and mutant.